Welcome back to Java and thank you for joining me again. It's October 30th, 2025. It is Thursday. My apologies again for missing yesterday. It was just a very poor timing and I could not get a video out. It was Fed Day. So we'll talk a little bit about what happened, what the effects are that we've seen ripple through the markets, as well as some things that we've got going on today. So, a lot to cover. Let's get started, as always, with what's going on in the markets to prepare you for today. So, we've got the fear grade matter still in 42. So, this is still rising. There is a lot of money, the retailers still staying in the market, buying the dips. And this is problematic. We're watching a shift in momentum is happening in the markets. Now, we're not just watching the direction, but also the volume. The volume tells a lot of the story over just the price. And I can't emphasize this enough. This also shows who the buyers are and who the sellers are in this market. So we're watching a lot more retailers purchasing, and we're watching the big money, in short, is getting out. And what are they doing? We're watching this through the bond market. So 10-year yield is actually up slightly this morning, but most of the bonds across the board, foreign countries as well. This is showing a shift kind of back to safety, if you will. We're watching volatility index is surprisingly dropping a bit. Now, this should be a little bit higher. We might watch a shift in this. Gold back above $4,000, another safety plate. Now, silver also 47.9. These two are showing a bit of weakness on the charts, but that doesn't have to happen. That's only probabilities. Oil is a bit weaker. We've got a lot of geopolitical going on. So, with all of this relative strength of the dollar, 99.16, at the moment, still the cleanest dirty shirt in the laundry, if you will. We've got cryptocurrencies looking weak still, and yet holding key levels. So we're watching Bitcoin, the level currently right at the 109,000 level. Next one down is 105, and then below that 100, but it is looking weak. Now, if we see this shift, it will be interesting to see if it goes back toward an asset. We are right before November, and we've got some key dates ahead I want to talk about a little bit. First off, we've got some shifts in the financial world that are going to happen in November. We've got cryptocurrency regulations that are set to hit that will be major. We'll talk about those as it gets a little bit closer, but it is on the horizon. We've also got massive amounts of treasuries that are set to expire and must roll or change the 1st of December. So those are key dates. Really got to keep an eye on that forward. The daily driver today, of course, was the China deal. So President Trump met with Xi, of course, if you haven't heard, and they made a deal on a few things. They are first off with the soybeans, that they were going to purchase some with the rare earths, as well as postponing a lot of these things. So this is a temporary deal set to go through 1 year. However, it's kind of more seen as an open door that they can increase relations from here. We're going to talk a little bit more about other things now. Japan's still in the news because they're talking about possibly selling more JGBs. So if they sell more of their bonds, that in short would affect the market, which also affects the US market. Now we've got a lot of this December 1st date. The Fed has to do a roll off of their balance sheet, in short, quantitative tightening. Now, they've got to watch this over the overnight rates because what's happening is as they're selling some of these things off, a lot of it consists of mortgage backed securities. So, who are the buyers on this other side? In short, what they're trying to do is push off the mortgage backed securities that they've got onto private banks. So, this again, with all of the things going on with private equity, is a problem that will be coming up in December. So, we've got to watch this now. Jerome Powell came out yesterday, threw a bit of a wet blanket onto the markets by saying that a December rate cut is not guaranteed, and that's because they're seeing extreme weakness in the labor market. We've been talking about this for a while, so this could be the momentum shift that is happening. This continues through the next couple of weeks. But at the same time, there could also be some massive counter moves. So don't be surprised if the market does skyrocket for a bit prior to this full momentum shift. So after he said the gold rising after a 4-day decline, these are central banks buying. So they are buying the dip. So you want to look at who is buying the dip on what assets. And central banks purchasing gold is at extreme levels, still even at elevated, or I should use air quotes, elevated prices, because they're pumping out their currencies that they can print freely and exchanging them for this real asset of gold. There are possible short squeezes in the future. So those that are saying take profit, well, taking profit isn't wrong. It's also what are you trading it for that is being affected by inflation. So inflation pushes the prices of real assets up as the currencies are dying and losing strength, and this will continue forward. So just keep in mind what you're trading for. But we've got a couple other things on the horizon I'll talk about in a bit. Now, don't count on a December rate cut. Did push stock board into a little bit of pressure. Yesterday, we got futures saying things are still a bit weak. So let's look forward on a few factors. We're supposed to get some GDP numbers, initial jobless, but because of the government shutdown for day 30, not going to get those reports tomorrow, PCE and core PCE. So in a little bit of a gray area here. So what are we looking to the private stock market? Google came out with earnings. The Mag 7 are the only ones that were in the green for the most part yesterday. So they've got earnings on their cloud move and the artificial intelligence, still the AI bubble going on. Meta went down on their spending blitz because Zuckerberg so easily saying, spend $1 billion here, $1 billion there. Everybody gets multi-millions. Data scientists that they're talking about for their AI forward. And the spooked investors, they don't want to put their money in there because he's just freely spending it. He's starting to act like the US government. So we had Besant, speaking of, saying that China is going to buy 12 million tons of soybeans this year. Well, last time I looked at the calendar, there's only a couple of months left. So that's going to be a massive amount. But congratulations to all of those that were in soybeans futures because you just kind of cleaned up there. Now, shifting over to payments because we want to take a bigger look at the picture forward. I'm now not putting as much specific things here, but more into Discord, which I missed last night and miss everybody there. But we've got Visa supporting stablecoins on 4 blockchains. Now, they already do right now USDC, Euro coin, PayPal, which was the big one I was talking about, as well as global dollar on these blockchains, Ethereum, Solana, Stellar, and Avalanche. So this is kind of the move forward. We've been talking about this. It is the payment systems, not the coin itself, that is being built right now. That being said, they have just come out saying the digital euro pilot phase could start as soon as 2027. They have made a commitment to move toward this. So do not be surprised if they're absolutely going to tie in the digital ID along with this so that they can provide you, of course, the security that you need and the safety of having your identity, your information, and tracking you. It's for your own good. So with all of this, there's light in this tunnel always. We've got Telegram's Pavel Durov is creating a decentralized artificial intelligence network. This is very positive for them, dubbed Cocoon, to give users access to these tools without surrendering to centralized providers. So this is a great step in the right direction, in my opinion. I've not checked this out deeply yet, but the idea in putting it out there, There absolutely are ways around this. Now, I've got to talk about a few other things that are going to possibly be catalysts, if you will, for the shocks in the market that we're about to see, both to the upside as well as to the downside. Now, I brought this up the last time that I was on, that Trump was responding to the Russian test of cruise missiles. Now, they're ordering resumption of nuclear weapons testing. This is a bit of saber rattling, to be admitted. However, this is showing the escalation so that they can cover a lot of what is happening underneath. Now, if you've been on here, there is not the separation of these countries that they're putting forward. They're doing deals in the background, they're talking, and all of this is kind of to cover what is about to happen. We've got the United States now sharing tech to let South Korea build a nuclear submarine. So, all of this quote unquote ramp up when they're pulling the aircraft carriers from the Middle East, from Europe, to go down to Venezuela, because it's all an energy push and to kind of realign things as they will. So, last thing I want to bring up, I thought this was interesting prior to going on to the market today, is this is coming out and circulating quite a bit in mainstream media, that The Simpsons have put out this video in short saying no internet, there's going to be a massive breakout and blackout on October 30th. But what we should look at is really the reality of this happening, whether it's on that date, whether they're predicting it, but focus more on how to get around if this does indeed happen. And they do put a good summary out. I'll probably repost this on X, because I believe it's a good thing to kind of look at where the weaknesses are. And that's where you want to kind of shore things up, if you will, so that you're prepared in the event of not just this, but something else happening with this. So, along with this, we've got the United States government is also shoring up on their side these positions. They've got the Pentagon is talking about National Guard. Now, the National Guard, in short, are the militia because they are state. So he is urging them to form quick reaction units for civil unrest. So, again, a two-edged sword for a lot of things that you should be aware of that is put in place as they're coming forward to this shift. This could very easily be a switch flip, if you will, in order to put in this new system that we know that they are going towards, and that is to handle the shift to the new currency, stablecoins, and digital. So, with this, I wish you all a wonderful trading day. Good day in general. Thank you kindly for all that you do. And until I see you again, resist.